Hey, I'm going to go live early because I just want to see. I had some audio issues again. Please let me know how things are looking. I'm going to turn my phone on and down so we can monitor. Please let me know if you hear me, if you see me. What's going on, everybody out there? So, can you see me? Can you hear me? Bevy, can you hear me? How's it sound? All good. Jeez, you guys, I was so scared. See and hear. Thanks, Anne Marie. Thanks, everybody. You're the best. Yeah. Thanks, Bent Tom. Appreciate you. Oh man, this is fun. I got some new gear, and I got obviously a room full of Martin guitars here. How's everybody doing? You can hear me loud and clear. That's so great. Oh man, you guys are the best. I decided just, every week I'm just going to jump on a little earlier. And that way people can kind of trickle in and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we love the Martin tone for sure. So I was pressed for time because I thought I had a tech issue, and I was like, I'm not even going to get cleaned up. I'm going to throw this hat on, and I'm going to be just a little grubby guitar player. Oh, your video froze. It's still looking good on my end, Ron. My phone's looking okay. I'm watching it here on my phone at the same time. So y'all just keep chiming in, because I want to keep this kind of rocking up until the top of the hour so that everybody can kind of... Looks good here, thanks. Hey, I'm doing great today. As long as everything holds out on the technical end, we're going to be great. We're going to be great. Let's see here. Let's go to I want to monitor myself in 3 spots. How about that? Yeah, any chance you can share thoughts on insights on... Yes, so I want to be getting to all of those questions. That's what we're doing today. That is the whole... Share thoughts on... Oh, don't want to do that because it's going to come through the mic. Sorry, guys. You'll hear a little bit of doubling from that. I turned the volume up instead of down. Everything seems good. Wow. Awesome. So here we are. If you saw my Instagram post, you saw that I got about 14 Martins here, so it's about another 10 or so from the ones I already had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 12. And so I'm going to tell you about them because there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in the world of Martin guitar, the world of online instruction, being in the times we're in, and I thought, what better time to sit down and talk about, this 187-year-old brand than right now. We're a captive audience. Everybody's kind of chiming in and joining in. And I got a bunch of different things. I have some high-end stuff. I have some really valued budget kind of guitars, which you can get into a really, really great sounding Martin for $4.99 with a gig bag. Pretty cool. And they're running a promotion with the beloved TrueFire. They are doing this, sort of joint promotion to where you buy a Martin, you get 90 days free of TrueFire. You get one of my courses for free, and then we're actually going to be doing a live stream together as well. So it's going to be really cool. So you'll see links popping up for all that stuff. The links that you'll be seeing are discounts on my courses. You'll see how to follow me on social media. The most important thing I can ask of you, if you haven't done it already, is to subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up if you're digging the video. Thumbs up really helps too. It kind of populates the algorithm world and really gets these videos out there. So what I'm doing here is I'm holding a 000 28 Modern Deluxe, and I can hear the lawn guys out there now. Hear that low end rumble? That is that's a lawnmower. So I'm going to let that pass before I play a song. I thought I'd play a song on this other guitar, one of my favorites. But this one, man, the 0028, I have a lot of blues friends here for sure. The 0028 is the quintessential blues acoustic guitar. The EC, the 0028 EC is Eric Clapton's signature model. It's like I think it's probably the most popular signature model guitar of all time. It's really, they've sold a bunch of them, and it's a great instrument. So we'll talk about these modern deluxes. I have a D18 modern deluxe. I have the new SC13E, which is really fun. I have a 12-string. You know, when we do these events around the country, people always say, did you bring a 12-string? And we almost never have a 12-string because they're not always available. And they'll often say, do you have a lefty? Well, I'm not lefty, so we didn't have any of those today. And it's good to know that they're weed whacking outside. So I don't have any weed whacker music, but I got a lot of guitars with me for sure. Yeah. And I see some people, some Martin friends coming in. The wonderful Kit Culpepper has joined the chat. So great to have Kit in the house. Kit is a friend, and she has... she's definitely been a champion of me doing this kind of stuff for a number of years, so I appreciate that. So I have my 0015 SM right here. I have it in a really weird tuning because I'm going to play a cool song for you. I have, while we're letting the lawn guys go, perfect timing, right? You know, but hey, they are really, really inexpensive. Hey, Kenny, thanks for coming on. You just snagged an OM15M custom. Holy crap, that is a cool guitar. I guarantee it without even playing it. Pickup recommendations. I think for aftermarket pickups, it's tough to beat the Bag's Anthem. I think that's really the best for sure because you have that microphone that mounts underneath the bridge plate, which we'll talk about, and you also have that ability to blend them. You pair that with one of their pedals, like the Session or maybe their EQ or the Venue, I think the DI. Wow, it's funny how much a microphone picks up lawnmowers, right? They won't be long. These guys are fast. They do it in about 15 or 20 minutes. But I would check out the Bag's Anthem for sure. The classic is the Fishman Matrix Infinity. That's going to be great too if you're playing on like a louder situation or stage. But if you're playing by yourself and doing a lot of singer-songwriter type stuff, I can't recommend the Anthem enough. Let's see, what else do I have? I got a D16, which is really cool. I have a GPC 16E. I have an X series guitar, X2E. I have my M36. I have a GPC 28E. That's a great guitar. There's that D18 Modern Deluxe. This is a really cool guitar. Sorry. It's called the, look at that. Perfect. No dents or scratches. How about that? I knew that was going to happen. It's a tiny space. This is a really little special one, too. This is the guitar that Martin designed with Kenneth Pattengale from the Milk Carton Kids. And it's an O-size body, torfied top, all mahogany. Very cool. It sounds like they've lightened up a little bit. You got any other questions real quick? Thomas has 6 Martins, and it is kind of an addiction, for sure. Oh, they're back. They're taking one more sweep. Wow, you have a DM Martin Black Walnut. Awesome sound. I bet that is awesome. But how great does this little guitar sound? This one I found at Groon's a few years ago. It was used, and it had a couple dings in it. It had some upgraded tuners, which I thought was great. And this is, it's a great place to start to actually talk about Martins because it's a 0015 SM, and the 15 series is right in the first line of guitars you can get that are made in the Nazareth factory in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, which I think we're still waiting on them to open. Man, Pennsylvania has been on a serious lockdown. I grew up 20 minutes from the factory, and I keep in touch with my family up there, and they're taking life really seriously in that state for sure, as they should. But I know that everybody at Martin is eager to get back to work building some guitars for sure. But But when you have a 00015 SM like this, you can see it's well worn. I mean, there's a lot of dings and scrapes on it. It's all mahogany, top, back, and sides. And that's going to give you a really warm, balanced tone. It's got a slotted peg head, and the slotted peg head is a really cool thing. It's not the friendliest for changing strings. It will take you a little bit longer. However, I'm not a guy that really burns through strings very often, so I get away with this pretty well. The angle on the headstock has been said to kind of help the guitar project a little bit more and have a different sound. So that, coupled with the 12 fret body, so the body connects at the 12th fret, gives it sort of like this kind of sound, which I think when you're playing fingerstyle or blues or even like sort of maybe some jazz, or even like you remember Marty Robbins and El Paso, those kinds of sounds. Those are the sounds that I think this guitar would really be really great for. So hey guys, with the lawnmowers, they're almost done. At least it looks like they're almost done. Nothing like a little comedy in our live stream. So let's do it. Let's hear it. We're going to play a lot of differences, and I'm going to take a lot of these questions, because I can already see that they're really good ones coming in. So this is a song that I always say I'm going to make an attempt to play. If you attempt Jerry Reed, it's going to be, it's a challenge. But this is a song called Guitar Man, recorded by Elvis, some other people as well. So here we go. Well, I left my job down at the car wash and left my mama a goodbye note. By sundown, I left Kingston with my guitar up under my coat. I hitchhiked all the way down to Memphis, got a room at the YMCA. And for the next few weeks, I went a haunting them nightclubs, looking for a place to play. Well, I thought my picking would set them on fire, but nobody wanted to hire a guitar man. Well, I nearly about starved to death down in Memphis. I run out of money and luck, so I bummed me a ride down to Macon, Georgia, on an overloaded poultry truck. I made it on down to Panama City, started checking out some of them all-night bars, hoping I could make myself $1 making music on my guitar. I got the same old story at them all-night piers. Well, there ain't no room around here for a guitar man. So I slept in Hobo Jones. I bumped 1,000 miles of track till I found myself in Mobile, Alabama, in a club they call Big Jack's. I feel that my guitar and I sit in. That's the words. I showed them what a band could sound like. We'll swing a little guitar, man. Show 'em now, yeah. Lost my pick. 3, 4. Ever take a trip down to the ocean? Find yourself down around Mobile. Well, get yourself down to a club called Jack's if you got a little time to kill. Just follow that crowd of people. You'll find them out on his dance floor, digging that finest little 5-piece group up and down the Gulf of Mexico. Well, guess who's leading that 5-piece band? Now, wouldn't you know, it's that swinging little guitar man. Yeah! So that's my 00015 SM. And it was funny, I don't know why I had a pick in my hand, because I've been playing that song without a pick. And then I had it, and I was like, what am I doing? Get rid of this thing. It screwed me up. But thanks, guys, for hanging in there. I love that song. It's so fun. By the way, that tuning, if you want to know, you drop your 6th string down to a low D, and then you're going to tune the B string up to a C sharp. Okay? So it sounds like this. It's like a sus chord. But when you play that riff, it's got a really cool vibe because it keeps all the strings ringing. And then that walking pattern. Really, really cool. And then when you go to the 4 chord, you gotta have this cool chord like that. It's really wicked. Yeah, that's awesome. It's hard. It's almost like you can't think about it. Once you learn it, you got to get like shot out of a cannon, you know, for sure. But so if we're talking about, I'll get my other pick here. If we're talking about mahogany guitars, again, let's talk about, we'll go from smaller to bigger and then somewhere in between. And then I'll stop and we'll talk about it. You know, usually what we do is we talk for 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. But this week will be all about your questions because, you know, when you do the Martin events live, we take a lot of questions, but we already have as many people as it's ever been in one of my Martin events, which is awesome. So this is the Kenneth Pattengale model that is only available at Groom Guitars. And this is a really cool O size body. It's just around, I think, $2,000-ish. It's got a very sort of old style bridge. And the neck, you know, it's a really nice feel. It's not super modern feeling. It's got a little bit of sort of old school feel to it. And the top is a torrified top that's been stained to kind of look mahogany and look like it's nice and baked in an old mahogany top, even though it's spruce. So it's a loud little guitar. Really great little guitar. I mean, I'll sit way back from the mic and listen to this thing. Listen to him over the weed whacker. Now, I think what would make this guitar even better, because I told you guys, I'm going to give you my opinions, okay? The only thing that I was able to do was source these guitars out from my Martin friends. But I want to be straight with you guys. You're on my channel, and I know I got Martin friends here, but this is what would work for me. This is what I would do. So this has what appears to be the Martin SP Lifespan strings on it. I think these strings are great. I use them. But if you put these retro strings on it that are on this guitar will be warm and boxy. Now this guitar will get that way, but these strings will have to break in a little bit. They're very bright and new sounding. But it's a loud little guitar. You should not sleep on an O-size guitar, because frankly you could sleep with them. They're that small. If they're small for me, they're small for just about anybody. But the O nowadays, I mean, this is a hot model, because a hot body size, because they sound good, they throw a lot of volume for a little guitar, and you can put a pickup in it, and it's really going to just sound great when you plug it in. You don't have to worry about getting over other instruments, is what I'm saying. That's, you know, not really the concern anymore. So let's take a couple questions here while I got my iPad pulled up. I'll go from the bottom here. Yeah, that does really project. It's got a very dry sound. It's a dried wood. That top is very dry because it's torrified. That's right, Kit. Kenneth did want that guitar to be affordable for players, and to get anything with a VTS top on a Martin under $2,000 is a really, really great deal. What would a black walnut 0017 12 fret sound like? Wow, that's a good question. I love 00 bodies. Black walnut, in my experience, I've heard it mostly on dreadnoughts, believe it or not. And I did hear one, Martin had a special guitar. It was had a lot of inlay. It was an OM body, and it was all walnut. And it was the most airy, resonant guitar I think I've ever heard. Now, it didn't have a lot of the punch or mid-range aggression that maybe, you know, a rosewood guitar had, but it would be a really cool guitar. It depends on what the top is. If it's, I wouldn't make a walnut top. I'd put like maybe an Engelmann spruce top on it. That would be cool. That's some stretchy finger work. It is. Thanks, Franz. It's like a Martin showroom in here today, for sure. It really is. Let's see here. Whoops, guys. I don't want to remove any of the questions. My thumb just got a little, ambitious there. The three really good ones, and let's see here. 15 sounded sweet and warm. Thanks, Kit. That 15 is it's about a 2012. Yeah, for sure. Thomas said he spent some time with the D-28 Martin Deluxe and the D-18 Martin Deluxe at Nazareth, and he loved them both. So let's talk about modern Deluxes while we're here. I absolutely love this series. I think it's killer. Ron, I know you bought Jeff's course already. I'm spying on you. Come on now. Hey, at the deals he's giving them away, he's like Crazy Eddie from the East Coast. Remember that? My courses are always on sale at 25% off if you hit me up or use the code Corey25. So, feel free to take advantage of that at any point. But TrueFire's having massive sales right now. Everything that I have is on sale anyway, regardless of where you buy it. I'm excited. If you buy it from my site, it does help me out a little bit more, which is awesome, and I appreciate that if you do it. And of course, don't forget, if you buy a Martin, they extended it through June, the promotion that you'll get 90 days at free TrueFire. You'll get one of my courses for free and some other goodies as well. Okay, so this is the 0028 Modern Deluxe. I'm not going to race here today. We might go longer than an hour. Okay, so we're going to take our time. So hang in there. Make sure you get your questions in there, and I'll hit them as best as I can. And if you ever have a question that I'm not... Jeff, my prices are insane. I love you, dude. Oh man, he gets me because he's an East Coast guy too. But I'm a Southerner now through and through. I do love it down here. So this is the 0028. Okay, so let's talk about a few things. Modern Deluxe. Modern Deluxe is basically like you wanted to get the Lexus with the brown trim, or the new state-of-the-art stereo system in the BMW as the upgrade. This is the guitar that has that package going on. It's got everything you know and love about a traditional 0028. Spruce top, rosewood back and sides. This one is gorgeous. I love when the rosewood gives off that sort of purple hue. So awesome, And basically, let's start at the top. It is a VTS top. It's a Sitka top, Adirondack VTS bracing. And the VTS system, I think, is just remarkable. It is like putting your guitar in a time machine because everybody wants that, that wood that's dry and 50 years old. That's what the VTS system does. They call it torrefaction or torrefaction. It's a process where it dries the wood out in a way that's not detrimental to the instrument. And the cell structure of the wood actually breaks down, and it's what happens to guitars of, let's say, the 30s, 40s, 50s. As that wood dries over time, it becomes stiff and it projects like crazy. And there's a lot of note definition. It almost feels like there's a compressor on the guitar in a lot of ways. Like I'm hearing this in my in-ears right now, and it is just booming. It really has a lot of great sparkle on the top end. Yeah, I love a 0028. Now, another thing that you want to consider about these guitars and what makes them what they are is a few things. In the 30s, the instruments were very light. These are extremely light instruments. There is a titanium truss rod in it. Now, a titanium truss rod is about half as light, or a traditional truss rod is twice as heavy as a titanium truss rod. So immediately that takes weight out of the guitar. More resonance happening is what you want for sure out of an acoustic guitar. The old guitars, they didn't have an adjustable truss rod, but they had oftentimes a piece of ebony in there, ebony rod, or what they would call a sled rail. So it wasn't adjustable. This is an adjustable rod that is super light and really adds to the resonance of the instrument. Okay, you want some more facts? Here we go. Under the bridge plate, this is the futuristic part in addition to the titanium truss rod. There is a carbon fiber bridge plate. Now you can't see the bridge plate, it's underneath the bridge, and it's basically, I think it's a piece of maple. I don't think it's spruce, it might be spruce. I can't remember off the top of my head. 2 pieces of carbon fiber that sandwich that. And I've heard drop tests where they took an old wood bridge plate and it made a certain sound when they dropped it on the table, and then the carbon fiber did this projection that really offered tone. It was really, really cool. I mean, it's got tons of low end, and it's a shorter scale guitar. I'll tell you what that means in a second. But some other appointments you should think about with a modern Deluxe. Open gear Waverly tuners. That's a really important appointment to consider. It's a light, higher-end tuner. These Evo frets, they look gold in hue, but it's a material that is strong, almost like stainless steel, but not as, like, I think they can be a challenge to install and take out if you ever had to refret the guitar. But the fact that these are strong on this one means that if you're playing down here for 5 years, you probably won't need to get a refret as fast as you normally would. So it's all that stuff. It's got a nice pearl inlay on the top, the herringbone finish. The 28s have a beautiful maple binding. So they tricked this guitar out. I mean, the VTS top alone, I think somewhere like $1,000 upgrade if you did it in the custom shop. You're getting it on this guitar. I think this guitar, I have it here. Let's see, $33.99, somewhere around there. Oh no, that's the D18. This one's a little pricey at $46.99 because it's got the Fishman Aura VT blend system in it. That's a killer system that has just been added to this line, but you could save a couple bucks and get one without the electronics, which is certainly a great idea. But these are incredible instruments. So if you're the kind of player that wants to that kind of stuff, a 00028 is going to be right in your wheelhouse. The 00028 has what's called a shorter scale than an OM. I don't have any OMs today, but I have dreadnoughts, which are the same scale, and that means the distance from nut to saddle, okay? And that distance really determines the tightness or looseness of the string. So I can actually bend a little bit on this more so than I would a longer scale guitar. Okay, so that's what you want to think about when you're considering a 00028. This is really top of the heap right here. I'm lucky to have this one. Oh, it's got these liquid metal bridge pins. Those have been tested to be louder. They make your guitar a little bit louder. So they pulled out all the stops on that for sure. Okay, so let's go to some questions. I know we got some. Okay, let's see here. Whoa, you guys are blowing me up. This is great. Do I prefer an OMC or a triple O? I think if I had to choose, I'd go with the triple O. That being said, an OM is a great desert island guitar because it's got a smaller body, but it's going to have the projection of a dreadnought for sure. Does a 00028 come in a cutaway version? I'd have to go back to the website for that. Don't know that. Pete Thorne should have been here. I'd love to have Pete hang out someday. I've hung out with Pete a few times. He's a wonderful guy. Ron, you want to know that also versus a Clapton? I'm not seeing that quick. New versus used, I'm a bit hesitant to buy a new one. I've heard they are better a few years old, but when I look at 60s or 70s guitars, they all have the same neck resets. Oh, okay, Rex, this is a great question, and I'll give you my opinion. Hands down, New guitars coming off the line in Martin are as consistent as they have ever been. They just keep getting better. But I've been working with the company for about 6 years, and they'll send me a guitar, open the case, it's perfectly set up, sounds fantastic, and they do that because they have what's called a plec machine in-house, and that's a machine that they put the guitar in, and it makes the guitar at what they would call string tension, and then they can polish frets and cut nuts and do everything they need to do to make the guitar perfect. And it also allows for a perfect setup when they're setting that guitar up, when they're putting strings on it and ready to ship it out. So it allows for a very, very even and consistent setup on those guitars. And you're right, you're rolling the dice with a vintage guitar. If it hasn't had a neck reset, it's probably going to need one. And that's the case. I mean, it's, guitar's 40 years old, 50 years old, that's going to happen. Now, if you want to spend the money and get the neck reset, well, you're putting on a used pair of jeans that just feel great in that position. That's what's really cool about old guitars, is that wood is dry, they're players. But there's so many variations over the years. Martin's been making guitars since 1833. So a lot has changed over time just because of technology that's being used, wood availability, different processes, bracing patterns. All that stuff is really important to take into consideration. Now, I would say that if you really want an older sounding guitar that's brand new, look to something that has a VTS top, like a modern Deluxe, or an Authentic Series guitar, or find a custom shop guitar that would have that as well. But that's a great question. It's buyer beware in the used market. You can find a gem, or you might find something that needs some love, and it's a good chance. It might need frets, it might need a neck reset. Now, I might look actually even earlier than 60s. I might look 50s and earlier. But at that point, you're really going to raise the price. And this guitar is over $4,000. You're going to pay over that easily for a guitar from the 30s, 40s, or 50s. Apples and oranges. It's things to consider for sure. Let's see. Isn't wood dried in the kiln, and doesn't wood come to equilibrium moisture with this environment? The VTS system is a kiln dried experiment, from what I understand. Not an experiment, it's a process that actually works. Again, thanks, Jeff, if you're still here, for coming on. Crazy Eddie. What pickup would I recommend for hardwood guitar? I don't like how Fishman sounds at all. You got to try the Bags Anthem, or Bags Lyric, I think that's what it is. Those are great. And for an inexpensive pickup that's really great, try the K&K. And also, those are two of my favorites for sure. Thomas Moore just got a custom shop OM28 VTS. Oh man, you are a lucky dude. I have not tried any Andrew White guitars. Let's go down to the bottom, see what you guys are asking. You're welcome, Rex. My pleasure. All right. So, thoughts on the new SC13? Let me get to that. But I forgot I had another Modern Deluxe here. Here is a D18 Modern Deluxe. All the same appointments as I was talking about as far as the technical features, except that this is your classic mahogany back and side, spruce top. This has the darker colored pins in it, but everything else is the same. Neck shape. The neck shape is cool too because it's more of this sort of vintage feel as you go up. It gets a little chunkier, which is nice. But back up, man, this thing is a boomer. Man, it's just got all that air that moves. And you can hear, as I'm playing, it really feels like there's a compressor, I might have a little room compression going on, but the guitar feels compressed. This is beautiful. that low end is still there. Killer guitar, right? How about the Modern Deluxe? Now, the Modern Deluxe D18 without a pickup, and you know, I just pulled some prices from the internet. Again, I'm not selling anything here with you guys. I'm just kind of doing this because I do about 25 of these events a year, and I thought, why not do one on my channel and just have a good time answering your questions? Make it super informal. That guitar, somewhere around $33.99 for that. And I think if you priced out some of these higher end Martins against the competition, the bang for the buck is really, really high. Particularly that VTS thing is really, really cool. Now, the danger in playing a dreadnought guitar, again, before you play something else, is that it's going to sound small. But you got to be open-minded. We're going way down on the spectrum and feature issue here, or sort of comparison. We're talking all solid woods, VTS top. This is a guitar that is kind of a nod to the future. Martin, you got to give it up to them because, hey, they innovated the dreadnought. They were the first ones to build that. They're the first ones on record to have X bracing and the forward shifted X bracing pattern. So they've been innovating since the early 1800s, and they did it again with this SC13E. And this is a fun guitar. I did a demo on YouTube that's really in depth, and I talk about some of the cool things that they've added to this to make it what some might say futuristic. You think this is a company that's been around for a long time. A lot of us probably have an old Martin lying around. Maybe our grandfather gave it to us or something, and we're attached to that, and we think that's Martin. But Martin was new and innovative. The Dreadnought was called a bass guitar at one point because nobody really knew what it was, and it became commonplace. And this company's made this acoustic instrument commonplace for 187 years. So why not try something that would appeal to a different generation of folks, have some new appointments that are never thought of before. Like, obviously, this is a cutaway guitar. It is a triple O body depth. It's a solid spruce top, and it is a koa veneer back and sides with African mahogany sandwiched in the middle. And this guitar, again, part of the Road series, but the real interesting thing is this neck design. I've never seen anything like this. It is a very comfortable heel with regard to getting up beyond the 12th fret. The guitar connects at the 13th fret of the body, which is really cool and interesting. And when I'm sitting here, if I'm just sitting here with my hand like that, look where my fingers are. They're at the 15th fret or beyond. So it's super comfortable and you don't even realize you're doing it. But if you hear that, have the rich low end necessarily of that guitar, of that D18, but it's never going to. It's not what it's designed for. But darn if it doesn't still sound really good. This guitar, I played an example. Kind of like that in the video, because I wanted to play really up high. Intonates very well, and I'll tell you why. Really fun. It's a really fun guitar. I have to say that. It's just fun because it's not what you'd expect from Martin. And if you're the kind of person that when the world goes back to the way we used to have it and you're playing 3-4 nights a week in your acoustic duo, this is going to be a workhorse for sure. It's got a Fishman MXT pickup in it, which I think it sounds okay. But when you're using this kind of pickup system, you got to have some outboard gear. It's just not as dynamic as maybe one would hope. But the thing is, if you start putting a $400 bag system in it or something, you got to jack the price up, and they're trying to hit a price point that is really going to appeal to a cross section of folks. I think this is about $14.99 where this comes in at. So the tuner inside of it is nice. It's a good thing to have on board. The gig bag is actually really cool. I've flown with this guitar a couple times, and it's worked out really well for me. The bridge is lower profile. The blue iris sound hole is really cool. They put the X bracing on the back. They just experimented with it, and it worked out. It's really cool. But this neck joint is special because it is. You'll see, wow, there's like some screws and some bolts there. It must be like a tailor. They must be copying tailor with a bolted on neck. Not at all. I'm never going to be able to explain this properly, but it's kind of like it's a dovetail joint, which is what Martin is known for, wood on wood, right? And what happens is that still is the case, but the dovetail in this case, it's called the Sure-Align neck joint. Can't believe I remembered that. And it's a pocket or a well that the dovetail goes into. And imagine it's like, okay, here's the joint, here's the neck, and as you tighten it, those ratchet screws, it pulls the guitar neck to the body. And then what's happening on the sides here is that's still wood on wood. Okay, so that's actually a really, really cool thing to still get wood on wood contact. And it's what makes the guitar sound as good as it does. Really, really great little guitar, for sure. So, let me break. I'll answer a few questions to the best of my ability. I had to find, I knew you guys would be watching me get up and down quite a bit here today. I had to find a guitar stand in my house that actually worked. Let's look at some questions here. Man, you guys are awesome. 113 of you so far. That's great. Tell your friends. Please share. Have them come over and say. Let's see here. Can I please say something about the LX1? Great little travel guitar. It's a tool. It's got its own sound. And it's kind of a... what's the word I'm looking for? It's the perfect travel guitar, for sure. Am I going to demo any parlor guitars? Well, the only thing that I have that's of parlor size was the Pattengale here, which I played earlier. This is a custom guitar. Man, it's super loud and nice and honky. So, question, does anybody know why they're called parlor guitars? There you go. There's a trivia question there for you. Prize to be given at a later date. Can I play my M36 and talk about it? I will. Let me answer a couple people ahead of you. My knee cert says, I don't know, I'm not into electronics on my acoustics. Some people just aren't. That's why maybe you choose a guitar that's kind of that package already, and you don't have to put a system into a guitar that you really care about and you don't want to alter. That's what I think some of the Rode series guitars are perfect for. The 16 series are great for that as well. Totally. And I'll explain more on that later. Let's see here. Who's Solo WB working with me at events? I can't tell what your first name is. Thanks for doing this. Timing is perfect for online and also that I'm in the market. I try to offer a trusted perspective, as he says, because, I'm in the middle. Like, my name's not on the headstock. I don't get a weekly check from the company. I'm a player. If you said, oh man, I'm really thinking about getting a parlor-sized guitar because I want to play in a bluegrass group, I'm going to be like, whoa, you're going to have to make a different decision there. Kevin, I love old Yamahas, for sure. Those are great. Let's see here. Can I please give away a modern Deluxe D18? That's going to cost me a lot of money to do that. Okay. Hey, Kit, thanks for coming by. I'm sure you do have a meeting. Everybody's trying to get back to normal there in Nazareth. So Jeff Reniger, because the smaller size of the guitar makes it ideal to sit in the parlor where ladies could play it. That's actually true. Ladies were really the first guitar players and guitar hero as well. So they would play in the parlor and entertain after dinner and that sort of thing. Absolutely. Let's see here. Parlor guitars were designed for ladies, for sure. Which series are manufactured in USA, and how about left-handed? Lefty 45, I don't have a lefty guitar today, but in the as far as the Nazareth-made instruments, the 15 series and above is going to be all Nazareth-made. Now, let's talk about some instruments that aren't made in Nazareth. The SC13E. Let's talk about this DX1 Mahogany. Okay, so here's the thing. I know people always say, well, I want a Martin guitar when I can afford one day. It's like, well, do you want a guitar now, or do you want to wait until then? Either way, I'm cool with the answer. Now, you may think, well, I want a D-28, or I want, an authentic series, or a modern deluxe, and somebody's going to say, well, this isn't a real Martin. Well, let me tell you about these guitars made in the Navajo, Mexico plant. It's Martin's plant. It's under Martin's supervision. They've been there for a long, long time. And the guitars are designed and inspected to go out and to operate as real Martins. This is a guitar, this DX1E, let's see here, gig bag. This is HPL guitar, so it's a high-pressure laminate top, back, and sides. Real wood bracing in here. Now, don't be confused or don't be misled. The bracing is the sauce. That's what makes an instrument sound the way it does. The lack of finish on here also helps for that. You see a lot of guitars in this price range that are heavy lacquer over them. All that's doing is making the guitar sound like this. So when you have a guitar that's no frills, bare bones, looks pretty great, and actually sounds really good. Okay, so I'm just going to play something simple on these. $4.99. You could take it to the campfire. You could take it to the beach. You're not going to hurt it. Yep, I just did that because you can't hurt it. It's resistant to scratches. It's a really great guitar. Still got the Martin blood and DNA on the inside. $4.99. Equipped with the authentic acoustic strings. The FP Lifespans are one of my favorite acoustic strings. It's a boomer. I mean, killer little guitar. Let's play its counterpart that goes one step higher with a solid spruce top. All right. Careful, careful, careful. Here we go here. This is a DX2. All right. And it's already, I can tell, a little more aggressive. Now these are killer. Solid spruce top. It's got the rosewood colored HPL back and sides. Still got the Martin DNA. This one I think is $5.99. I wrote some of these down. Yeah. So this is a DX2E rosewood pickup installed, and again $5.99. So we're well under $1,000 here for a very great sounding serviceable guitar. It's I'm old enough to remember when a guitar was $400 or $500 and was not great at all. I mean, the technology involved in getting these so consistent is kind of remarkable. And I know that they have a plec machine at the Navajo factory too, so they're plecking all these guitars. Miguel, hey buddy. You said this is awesome. Do you know if all Martins come plecked? Yes, as a matter of fact, they do. So I'm going to put this back. These are inexpensive guitars, great value. I'll do some Instagram stuff on them so we can really hear them. Not that I think this microphone's a really great tool for sure. Let's talk about a few other cool things, but I'll look at some questions real quick because I know you guys might want to hear a couple other things. Let's see here. Yeah, Lawrence Juber was that guy. He was demonstrating Martin's killer. Yeah, Lawrence is incredible. Hey, Anne Marie, what model? Oh, okay. I think Bevy got you on there. Great. Nice. That's right, Kevin. The parlors were also used for those types of venues as well. As far as left-handed guitars go, most are available with no extra cost, but you want to look into that for sure. There you go. Just answer my question. What mic is this? This is an Aventone. I always forget the model. I think it's a CK. Yeah, CK40, and it's a stereo mic. So I have it angled so it's getting a cross section of my guitar here. The X series are made in the Navajo plant. Yes, Ron, for sure. Forrest's dream guitar is a HD35 or HD28. Let's talk about the H, okay? The HD means that the bracing inside the guitar is scalloped. And that's going to be the case for the HD35 as well. So a D28 will have the standard X bracing, but the bars, the tone bars, are not scalloped. Okay, so scalloping, when you take wood away, because that's what you're doing, it's going to change the instrument's tone. A lighter top, which is where the braces are attached to, as it vibrates, will create more bass. A stiffer top will create more treble and maybe some more mid-range. So if you really want that low-end boom associated with a dreadnought, a HD28 forward-shifted scalloped, which is what they are these days, straight out of the factory on a standard series instrument, that's going to be the ticket for you. Now, a D28 has a great, stronger mid-range and will also cut and help you drive rhythm as well. But you got to play them both, back to back. That's definitely the key. My opinion on a GP16E, 13E, or 11E. I have a GP16E right here. It's almost like you guys are setting me up. This is awesome. Cool. Hey, and I just want to say, we've had over 100 people here now for a while. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me every Thursday. I thought I'd take a departure this week and not really do a lesson so much and just talk about these instruments because, this is an important purchase that you're making, and you're spending upwards of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, sometimes $4,000. You want to get as much insight and knowledge as you can. I talk to folks all the time on Instagram and Facebook and email directly about what instrument might be best for them. And I'm going to give it to you straight because I want you to really be happy with your purchase and spend your money wisely. And if I can point you in the right direction, I'm happy to do that. So this is the GP16E. Let me just make sure I'm not crazy. Yep. This is 16 series, so it's Nazareth made, mahogany back and sides, solid spruce top. It's got a Fishman pickup system in it, which I'll talk about. What else can I say? Cool rosette, that's new. And the 16 series, like I said, made in Nazareth. The GP body, the Grand Performance body, and the cutaway attached to it. Most of the time, I don't think you'll see any GPs without a cutaway anymore. They did that for a short time. It's a cool instrument, but it's got its own sound. It's not a dreadnought. It's not a triple O. And this is an instrument where somebody said, hey, I'm going to drop, $1,500, $2,000. I want to buy one guitar. This is the one for me. And I'm not going to buy anything else. Maybe you're playing in church. Maybe you're playing just in a classic rock kind of situation. These guitars are $1,649 with a really nice gig bag. Listen to that tone. Really, really rich. Really sounds great. really killer instrument. I had a student recently pick one of these up, sent me a video message immediately playing it. He loved it. Now this is going to be Mahogany. So it's a really nice choice. I'm playing with kind of a medium pick for this stuff because I want that airy tone. Yeah, it's a nice instrument for sure. I could be happy with that. I'm telling you, that's gonna sound better in a year. It's gonna sound even better than what it sounds like now. I guarantee you. All right, let's take a look at. I'm gonna pull down this D16 Dreadnought. It's a good thing I designed my studio like a music store, right? I want to take a couple questions here real quick. How about the Johnny Cash editions? Anything special to know about those? Well, the D35 Johnny Cash is a D35, basically. That's his signature model. That is just really, really fun. The new one that's come out, the X Series guitar, that is a chance to have sort of all the panache of Johnny Cash's black guitar, the look, his name on the 12th fret, the cool rosette, the bag says Cash on it. I'll be honest, it's a really cool novelty project. Is it a $3,000 acoustic guitar? No, it's certainly not. But you don't want to take your Johnny Cash model to the campfire. That would be ridiculous. So that's a guitar that Martin and the Cash family came together with to say, hey, this is a fun project. Let's put it out there. And I get really bummed out when I see the haters saying, oh, this is a travesty to the Cash family. It's like, hey, they did it. They approved it. And Johnny Cash is one of those people like Elvis that continues to influence for years and years and years. And if it's me and some kid picks up that guitar and he learns Walk the Line or he learns Ring of Fire and he's freaking happy about that, we've done our jobs. Martin has done their jobs. The Cash family did their jobs. That's what I think it's about. Who cares? Let's see here. Hey, Corey, what's preferred body shape size for recording in a dense mix? Hey, Curtis, I didn't realize that was you. That's awesome. So, what I like to do, Curtis, when I'm recording is I like to use Mahogany as much as I can. Because Mahogany has, like that guitar there, that'd be a nice guitar for recording. Or this one here, my 0015 SM. So, let me turn this off real quick. Sorry, guys. It won't turn off. There we go. Mahogany has a flatter frequency response, even bass, middles, and trebles. So that kind of sits in the mix a little bit better. When you play a rosewood guitar, there's some lower end and more richer harmonics going on that the mix engineer is just going to have to take out anyway. So I'll show you. Here's the difference. Like if I played this guitar, let's see. This one, yeah, so this is an interesting guitar. I'll talk about it. But if I put the microphone back here, you hear all that bass, right? If I put it up here. So you got a Mahogany guitar, it's going to have less of that going on. And when you mic it in a way that's very even, like this guitar, it's rosewood, I can still hear the bottom end being a little boomy. I don't think I have two guitars that are the same but different woods. Otherwise, that'd be a great thing. But Mahogany is great for recording. That's all you need to know. But rosewood's awesome too, and I've recorded with my M36 as well as this one, and I have that D18 Modern Deluxe, which is on permanent loan for a little while. Actually, not permanent, but it's on a vacation in my house, which is cool. So, what else can I tell you about that? Mahogany also is really good if you're a singer with a lighter voice like me. If you're not a big boomer of a singer, look into Mahogany or Koa or lighter woods like that you can get up over. So this is the D16, and it's a D16E because it has a pickup in it. And this is a thin dreadnought. So it's a dreadnought size, 000 depth. So if you like the Dreadnought, but you don't like having your arm kicked out here like I do, this is a killer guitar. Nazareth made, all solid wood. But it's satin back and sides and a gloss top. Oh, it's cool hearing it in the ears because it's got that low end. It's definitely got a lot of that sort of, I had another pick somewhere. I can't believe I'm playing this whole show with a thin pick. This is a cool guitar. This is $16.99. Pretty great little guitar for under $2,000, all solid wood, killer gigging guitar. Really, really great instrument to take on the road, or if you're doing some weekly gigs and some pubs and stuff like that. Oh, I have something I can show you guys. All right. So let's look at a couple questions, and I want to get back to something fun that I think could be really useful. Let's see here. Questions. Retro strings. Jim C. What's up, Jim C? Retro strings. They are on this guitar here. I have it tuned kind of wacky. Otherwise, I'd play it. Retro strings, my favorite acoustic strings next to the SP Lifespans. Really dig those. Yes, Jack, the 16 is a great guitar. You did spot a 12 string. I will get to that. My knees hurt. My playing doesn't warrant a high-priced guitar. Everybody says that, but like, you know, it's saying, oh, my driving doesn't warrant a nice car. It's like, try it. You might actually like the way you play better with a nice guitar. It's worth a try. I'm not saying you got to go break the bank. Let's see here. Hey, thanks. You know, BB Ninja's my moderator, hanging out and answering all these great questions for you guys, particularly about Plek machines. That helps me a lot. What's my take on a Yamaha LLTA? I don't know that one specifically, but I got to tour the Yamaha showroom a couple years ago, and I was shocked at how nice the guitars are. What's really cool is the trans acoustic stuff. Like if you want a really fun acoustic electric guitar, that one's also really cool because it's got the effects built in, kind of like that tone wood amp. It's mind blowing, but it's a different kind of instrument for a person that wants, that kind of experience. Really, really cool. Jason says he loves his GPC 16E. That's a really strong guitar for sure. Should you get a D-2EX even though it is quite expensive for me? I can't say yes on that. I think you should make a smart purchase and do it when you can pay for it in a time you feel good about it. You might find, we talk about used guitars, maybe you find, a 2018 D-2EX or a 2017 or one of the reimagined D-2EX that's, a used guitar or something. And I'm sure that will be a really, really good instrument for sure. You've never seen Jack White and Corey wearing the hat in the same room, but it's fair to say our complexions are probably a little bit different. And you're right. BB Ninja's right. You have to be comfortable. The D18 sounds great, Mike. Is it worth getting pickups? Getting pickups in a guitar is only worth it if you're going to play live a lot. Otherwise, I don't think it's necessary. But lots of times, if you're going to play, if it's your only guitar and you've got to have that one, then put a pickup in it. Because if you're using something like a Bags that's not too evasive, or a Fishman Matrix Infinity, or a K&K, it's not going to hurt the value of the guitar. It's really not going to hurt the sound. I have pickups on all my guitars except for that D18 because it's not officially mine. But I do that because I need it and I live with the way it sounds. It doesn't seem to really hurt them. Let's see. A lot of companies like Sweetwater and stuff, Murphy, run those like 2-year, same as cash financing things. But I would say save up, pay cash, feel good about it, and never owe anybody a dime. The tip jar links are coming out too. If you guys are happy with this information that I'm giving you, you want to toss a little bit of money in the tip jar, I'd sure appreciate it. Because I got to drive around Nashville and deliver all these guitars back to their respective places. Saved a year and a half for Sloan 3W says, saved a year and a half for reimagined D28 and it was worth waiting a bit longer. Called in the Netherlands to pick the best one and bought it without even playing it. Still didn't regret it a bit. Yeah, somebody reached out to me about buying a guitar and having not seen it. Now, I would recommend doing that from a really reputable buyer. My favorite stores online, and if you're a store that I don't mention, I apologize, I just forgot. I've been to Sweetwater a bunch. They inspect the heck out of everything. The inventory is great. They're an amazing big box shop that'll do that. My friends in Montana, Music Villa, they're amazing. They have a great inventory as well. Inspect the guitars. My buddies at Wilcutt in Kentucky, Groon here in Nashville. I'm going to leave out a bunch of other ones that are probably really great. Even my friends at AMS, they do a great job. It's hard to, I'm not putting favorites out there. These are just people I know that are my friends at these places, and I've been behind the curtain, so I see what they do. So you can feel pretty confident, that you're going to get a great guitar out of the box for sure. Drive super slow when you return them. That's a good point, Jeremy. I will do that. You might be able to afford the Martin stool. I got my stool right there, for sure. Let's see. So the GP16, let's go back to that real quick. And I'm going to put this one up in its place because I have a GPC28 as well. And we can compare those, which will be really fun. So we'll go, here's the GPC16. Yeah, okay, so that's Mahogany. Let's take a look at Rosewood. Here is where'd it go? There it is. You should already be able to hear there's some richer low end going on. I didn't say louder, I said richer. Okay, so let's play the same kind of idea. Remember that in your ears. I realize it's on the internet. Already, I can hear it. To my ear, the Mahogany is airier, it's lighter, it's brighter, and that's going to work a lot, especially what Curtis was actually asking about in recordings, because that acoustic guitar, particularly in like a rock country or a rock thing, it sits on the top and it becomes a musical shaker. Can you hear that low end going boom? And I'm far away from the mic. That's going to fit nicely into a mix. Doesn't mean this Rosewood one is bad to record with, not at all. It feels good when you're playing it, but it's going to have a little more low end like that, and the engineer is going to just take it out anyway. Okay, so that's what happens. With this is a GPC28E. Let's see if there's any pressing comments right now. Now go to the 00028. Okay, I could do that. Hold on. So let's play this. Get that in your ears. I want to be careful. I don't want to bang anything up like I did earlier. There we go. Okay, so Rosewood against Rosewood, I still feel the low end, but this smaller box ended up sounding a little more like a box. D28 or D28 reimagined? I'd go D28 reimagined for sure. What guitar size do I prefer? I like triple O's 00018 is probably my desert island guitar. I don't have one of those with me right now, but I sure wish I did. You guys are rocking. We're at 121 viewers. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. That really, really helps me out. Trying to reach that 10,000 subscriber mark as soon as I can. For all of you that have subscribed, listen, I was at about 5,000 at January, and I'm at 8,500 right now. That is awesome. So thank you so much. Every week I put new material on here, as well as some other platforms like my TrueFire channel. It has just been a blast. I'm having a blast getting to know everybody, and I'm hearing from folks that reach out to me. So thank you all for joining me here every week. Now let's check out my M36. Now this is an older one. This is about 10 years old. Yeah, so that's got the beef of the of the Dreadnought. I love this guitar. This is the first Martin I ever owned. And a couple things I want to talk about this guitar. First of all, it is a triple O depth, but it's a quad O body. And this is an older toner that they used to use. They do more of the aging toner now, which frankly I wish this was on that. It's on the new reimagined M36, but you know, I'll just have to wait for this guitar to change color over time. It's done it for sure, but I like the neck on this. Really, I like it a lot because it's a smaller nut size, and that's my only complaint really about a lot of Martins these days is that they're 1 3/4, and I just don't like that for my hand. It's just not comfortable for me. I get used to it, but some people that have a finger that doesn't like the strings close together will like the wider nut spacing. If you're a fan of Taylor's, then you already like 1 3/4 because that's what they do. But for me, in my personal touch, I like it to feel a little bit kind of more compressed, like an electric guitar. But this guitar doesn't kind of fly away on you like a Dreadnought will. And I can kind of do that stuff, and it stays nice and focused. This is a winner of a guitar. I love this. Cool thing about M series, M36, it's got a bound fretboard. So your 35s, your 36, they even made an M38 that has a bound fingerboard, closed gear tuners. I like these are the smaller type of tuner as opposed to the larger Grover. And of course, 35s and 36s and 38s have 3-piece back. Now, history lesson. The 3-piece back was really Martin's first foray into conservation. They had scraps of Brazilian rosewood lying around in the late 60s, and it was somebody's idea to put those together in this pattern because they call that middle part the wedge. Okay, so they made this 3-piece back, and on the D35 they changed the bracing to 1/4 inch as opposed to 5/16. So you get that guitar, it's a different sounding Dreadnought. I think it's 5/16 on this, it could be 1/4 inch. I'll have to double check my specs on that. But the M36, so the 3-piece back was a conservation effort, and it's worked out great, and people love it. It's aesthetically really cool. You see wedges now that are koa or mismatched here. I saw Ben Harper and Sean Colvin play these models, and I loved them. I was like, this is kind of a nice in-between a Dreadnought and a triple O or an OM. That's why I love the M36. Total sleeper guitar. But this started its life, not this one, but the model, the story goes that David Bromberg had one of Martin's archtop jazz guitars, and that didn't do so well for Martin. He took that guitar to Matt Umanov in New York City, and they put a flat top with a sound hole on it. And it became this model. And I think somewhere maybe the late 70s or early 80s it made it into the catalog as a bona fide model. But this has the retro strings. I'm really digging those strings. It's a lot of fun to put a set of strings on your guitar, and they immediately sound broken in. That's what's really nice about them. We got the 12-string yet. I'm going to do that too, but let's talk about a couple more questions here. Let's see here. Just buy one at a time. Why not? If I've never owned an electric guitar before, I'm planning to purchase one. Do I have any recommendations on an electric guitar? Well, Murphy, recommendations on an electric, it's got to be, if you want something super versatile, a Strat-style guitar of any type is going to be great. It's going to give you a particular sound. But if you're the kind of person that says, I grew up on Jimmy Page or, some hard rock or something like that, then you want to look at something that's got humbucker pickups in it. That's going to be kind of your measuring stick there. Is it Fender style or is it less Gibson style? And from that point, everything else kind of goes from there. So same thing with Martin. I mean, Martin's influenced a lot of acoustic companies, so it's a good thing that we can do this and talk about all that. Jim, I'm not taking any energy vitamins. You know me. But Jason, thanks for keeping us updated on your bowel movements. That's fantastic. Thomas wants the M36 now. I can't disagree. Hey, thanks, Jim, for supporting me with the course. And I really, really appreciate you guys hanging in there. What's the most expensive Martin I've played, Jason asks. I've played Martins that were $12,000, $14,000. A lot of them are more highly appointed than anything, for sure. Let's see. What's the most... That's good. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the compliment. Wow, you thought the M36 was the favorite of all of them. That's really cool. We did not play the 12 string. And this is cool because we can talk about that standard series. Now, that standard series is the baseline for a lot of people that really want to get into a Martin. But first, let's play that. Oh. Playing guitars is funny. It's like getting into a different guitar like every 10 minutes. It's like you have to adjust the seat, you have to get comfortable with the way it plays. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. I like to go. That song. Here comes my girl. And she looks alright. She's all I need tonight. Oh, so fun. My buddy Jimmy's here talking about the birds. What's cool is they made a Roger McGuinn guitar that I think just had the double G string. That was really fun because you got sort of that open G sound, but you didn't have all of the strings. So this is a D-1228, and it's actually got a Baggs Anthem in it, which is really cool as well. This guitar, as well as a few others, were taken from a showroom that's here in Nashville in a building called Indo Nashville. It's really cool. They rent it out for performances. Writers go in there. Different companies rent office space. And Martin has a really beautiful room. And I want to thank them for letting me come and crash it, So the standard series guitar, one thing you got to remember, first in the line of standard series Martins. Everything else is 15 or 16, etc. before that. If this were a regular D-28 Dreadnought, it would have forward shifted bracing that was not scalloped. This has a standard shifted bracing because it needs to be strong. It's a 12 string. It's twice the amount of pressure on the instrument. They have the aging toner. They have that Ivoroid old school binding. And another thing that's really important is this is the first model or series that you get a handmade dovetail joint. And a handmade dovetail joint is when the joint and the neck or the dovetail are actually, they're made for each other. So what happens is they get made and then they separate, and then they go around the factory, and then they meet at final completion, and that neck joint is made for that guitar. A simple dovetail is basically more universal, and that's what you'll see in more like a 15 series or a 16 or something like that, where basically any neck and any body could kind of go into each other, and that's an efficient way to kind of save a little money as they're building the instruments. So the standard series on up is where that kind of stuff starts at. Lacquered body, top, back, and sides, solid Sitka spruce top. Being that it's a D-2E, it's got the normally an HD would have the herringbone, but these have the herringbone on them. It's really, really cool. And I've never played a Martin 12-string that didn't play easily. They all play great. And you'd think it'd be a bear, but it's actually pretty great. So if you want to get your MTV Unplugged circa 1990, you could do this. It's a bear. It's actually a bear once you start doing that. I take it back. There you go. I think I made it through all of the guitars. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we haven't heard. Let's put this one back, and I'll take a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. You guys have been awesome for hanging out with me for so long. It's awesome. Yes, the SRV instrumentals definitely have that sound. He played a big old guild, which are really, really cool. Kiss did do an unplugged. It was good, actually. Let's see here. What would I recommend to widen my choices in left-handed guitars to purchase? Want to play before I buy? Contact other national stores. You know, that's tough, Alan, because you often don't find them in stock very much. But I don't know specifically, but there's some websites out there that really cater to left-handed players, and they stock stuff. It's a great business model, actually, I think. I know they exist. I would just Google left-handed guitar retailers or something like that. You probably find one. And see what their return policy is. You know, you could do that as well. But that being said, I can confidently say that Martin's coming from the factory. If you ordered a lefty D-2E, you're going to be happy with it, just as much as any right-handed player that would order one blindly. That's my advice. I'm not saying that for any other reason other than I think it's the truth. Okay. Let's see here. Does a Martin double neck exist? It does. It might. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one. Which lifespan strings do I like? Just the regular SP lifespans. Generally in a .012, like a 12 kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of what I like. Where did that 0028 go? There we go. All right. More questions here. Is there a more budget-friendly electric guitar that sounds similar to a Gibson Lucille BB King? When you're talking about that stuff, look at Epiphone. Epiphones are great. Inexpensive, or SE series Paul Reed Smiths are also a really great bang for the buck because you can get single coil and humbucker sounds from them. Let's see, what else? Let's see, you guys got questions. Yeah, there is a guy at Martin, Dave Dahl. He does a great job on how to change strings, for sure. And Eastman as well, too. Eastmans are definitely great. Well, let's see here. We're at an hour and 15. Thanks so much, everybody. Let's see. If I intended to beat up Martin, should you? If I inherited a beat up Martin, should you have nicks and scratches repaired, or leave it as it is? Leave it as it is. Those are battle scars. That means that guitar has been played, and that's it's going to add to the character, in my opinion. All right, I'll play a little tune and then we'll get out of here. But before you leave, please give the thumbs up button a hit. Go hit that for me. Please subscribe if you've never subscribed to my channel. Oh, we got some good questions though. Have I ever used nylon string guitars or parlor guitars? Yes, I just did something the other day with a nylon string. I have a really cool Brazilian-made nylon string guitar from a really odd, kind of company that went out of business really fast. I've had limited input tonight. Don't know how much about Martins, but I've loved the information. Thanks so much, Jason. I appreciate you being here as always, man. Best gig bag for traveling with one of those pricey Martins. I use. Oh, that's Jim. Hey, Jim. So I am a Reunion Blues artist. I love their bags, and I sought them out on purpose because I love the product they make. I've used their bags more than any cases ever. I take them on airplanes. I've seen the bags get thrown around, and they've been great. Right, 128 of you guys. That's so cool. Susie came in. It must be at the very end, but you'll watch the replay. There's a lot of stuff, Susie, but ask questions if you want to. Forrest, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Again, if you guys are just here and never subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. If you're interested in my courses, there's links for all those. There's merchandise. You want to check out what I'm also going to do. Oh, no, it's in here in the description. Any of the guitars that I've played today, I put links for, whether it be on Martin's site or Sweetwater or Amazon or any of those kind of big places. You'll find them, and there you go. So check it out. All right, I'm going to play a tune for you. I got a kind-hearted woman, yeah. She'd do anything in this world for me. Well, I got a kind-hearted woman, yeah. She'd do anything in this world for me, yeah. Well, I love my baby, just can't stand to leave her be. I love my baby, yeah. My baby, she don't love me. Well, I love my baby, ooh. Oh, but my baby, she don't love me, yeah. Well, I love my baby so bad, I just can't stand to leave her be. But one thing that makes Mr. Johnson drink, I'm worried about how you treat me. And I began to think, well, I say, I just can't live this way. You see, it breaks my poor heart, baby, when you call Mr. So-and-so's name. All right, let's take a ride now. studies evil all the time, yeah. I got a kind-hearted woman, yeah. Well, she studies evil all the time. Yeah, well, I know she will kill me, 'cause she's got it on her mind. That's a little Robert Johnson for you. Yeah, 0028, having a bunch of fun on that. Hey, Doug, thanks so much. I appreciate you being here. That's really, really kind of you. Susie, great to see you, even though you're here at the end, no problem. See you next week, Rex. Thanks so much. Hey, Miguel, I appreciate you being here, man. I appreciate the support. All right, I'm going to take off, guys. So much. I got my mouse right here, and I'm going to hit end stream. You guys are the best. You got all the links. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please do so in a number of different ways. I'd love a thumbs up and a subscribe at the very least if you can. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next Thursday with a new topic. We'll see what it is. Okay, take care.